Hello Grandmasters, Mike from the WCA. How's everyone doing? I want to give you a little instruction about some king and pawn endings. Let's take a look at what's on your screen here. And in a moment, I'm going to take you over to chesskid.com and give you pretty much the same exact position where you'll get a chance to practice this against the computer. So one thing we can do if you're chesskid.com members is look in advance for some of the features that they have, prepare our own videos for you to kind of give you a head start, and then get you over to that site to practice, okay? Because without practice, I have bad news for you. You're not going to improve. Anyway, when you have two split pawns like you do here, they pretty much always win, except if the king was already attacking one of the pawns and could take it. Because your king is so far away, that's going to prevent you from pushing one of your pawns, right? Because, for example, if you push this pawn check, the king's just going to take it, and this is going to be a draw because the black king is just going to come over and catch this guy, making an easy draw, right? So going back, the best thing to do in a position like this is just move your king up to g2 to support these pawns. And then the only trick you have to know is that if the enemy king attacks one of your pawns, like for example here, the trick to win the game is to push the pawn that is not being attacked. Well, you can't push this guy anyway, but if you push the other one, that is going to stop the black king from taking your pawn on a4, because if he takes it, you see how he went underneath the pawn and it's your turn? Whenever that happens in a chess game, the pawn is just going to run and the king is not going to be able to get there in time, and once it becomes a queen, you kind of know the end of the story. All right, so let's go back here. I'm sorry. The king has just attacked your pawn, so what do? We push the other guy. Now black has to move something, so he's going to step back, and just make sure in this position that you don't push, for example, this pawn, because you'll just lose it, right? So don't be in a rush. Whenever the king is not attacking your pawns and you're not in danger, just bring your king a little bit closer to support the pawns. At some point, you will be able to just push through and you'll recognize a position that you learned where it's a simple king and pawn ending that's a win. If you rush and say you push your pawn, the king may come after you. You can try this check, but it won't work because I have time to get this pawn and still come back and catch this guy here. And this is obviously a draw, right? So back here, simple chess. Just bring your king closer to your pawns. If he steps back, like here, and doesn't attack either pawn, then you can push the other guy up. And you see that you've made a little progress. If he attacks one of your pawns, what's the rule? Push the other one. He's going to step away. What's the rule? Push the king closer. King c6. You have a couple of ways that you can win here, but let's just play real simple chess. Support your pawn. King backs up. Bring your king up. And at some point, for example here, you'll see that you can lift both pawns again. See how they're on the same rank? If he were to attack your pawn, you would just push the other guy. And if he stays underneath your pawns, just keep looking until you see a win. Here, I see a pretty easy win for white. I'm going to push this pawn. Black king is going to have to come here. Now I'm going to queen, but before I queen, I have to make sure that by doing that, I don't create a stalemate, because it's really close, right? This king doesn't have many squares, but I can see that after I queen, the king can come out to b6, and I'm going to stop here right now because all of you guys should be able to win this with a queen and possibly even another queen, right? That's pretty easy.